Hi guys, my name is Mahesh Kumawat and today we are going to start up the second session of the cybersecurity interview sessions. Okay, so I have just created a website for you guys. This is information security, and if you're going to go this particular web page, I'm going to share to this particular website to you, and then you just find out the different type of certifications about the security certifications. If you just take a look here, security management, security architecture, security analysis, defensive operations, offensive operations, and security engineering. Okay, and you also just going to take, okay, just download it from this particular website as well. And this is about the cyber security domains. So we have talking about some different domains in identity access management, security architecture, risk management, threat intelligence, security operations, so and career development. So there are different type of security operations, security domains. So you have just broader view that what sort of things you are going to see into the cyber security domain. Okay, and what you're going to teach, what you're going to learn, all sort of things. This is all type of certifications into the security engineering, offensive and defensive operations, security analysis, and security architecture and security management. Okay, and then we just going down in the further things. So just take a look here. This is the top management certification of CISM, CISA, CGIT, SRIG, and CSSP, SSCP, and Security Plus. So the matter of fact that guys, in this all the certifications, if I'm talking about here, this is CSSP is this all about. The CISM is there, CISA is there. So this is all about the part of the security management part. But as a security professionals, the matter of fact that you are somewhere in the CEH, you're doing it, certified ethical hacking, you're doing it, you are as part of is particular uh, offensive security. Okay, and suppose you're going to do some penetration testing, so you are a part of offensive security operations, and you just going to do some CEH and different certifications, so you are a part of the defensive operations. And suppose you are working on the MCSC, CCNA, Microsoft system admin, network admin profile, so you are a part of the security engineering part. So the matter of fact that if you are a cybersecurity expert, you should be a good understanding about the cybersecurity, security management, security architecture, security analysis, defensive operations, offensive operations, and security engineering. Okay, and then this is the starting your certifications, and then these are the different domains you're going to study into the cybersecurity domains, and then this is the top management certifications if I'm already talking about. So CISP right now. So this is the what the costing of the certifications and what are different what informations you require. So suppose in the future you go looking for the CISP, you're looking for CISA and CISM, top security certifications. So this is all things in front of you. So you can just take a look from here, right? And I'm just going to do one thing because right now it's going to be preparing. I'm preparing the website. So this is only I have done only the CISP only. So I'm just going to create CISM, CISA, certified ethical hacking, SSCP, everything I'm going to create here, every domain. So this is the first domain I'm created for CSSP. Okay, and in this domain, this is what you just find out the recording sessions from my side. Okay, CSP domain, and also you're just going to find it out different domains. Okay, suppose the domain one, security and risk management. So you just find out the informations what you're going to study, what sort of things you required. Okay, so this is the all things you just going to be find out in this place. Okay, so in this is security management, this is the privacy, this is intellectual property. We already discussed all sort of things, but you're just going to go on a single page, and then you just find out all those details. Okay, so this is the details which I'm talking about right away, and we are just going to study about today the second phase of the interview questions answers page. Okay, so the matter of fact that if you're talking about the cybersecurity interview questions answers, this is the second numbers. Okay, so the safeguards information system assets identifying and solving potential and actual properties. I think you guys understand privileges, controls. We have studied this one in the previous slides. Okay, so HIDS, AIDS, antivirus, McAfee, endpoint security solutions, Yara, we have studied this particular things in the previous one. Okay, and cybersecurity duties and responsibilities. So develop unique, effective security strategies for system, software systems, and network and data centers and hardware. So I would like to know from your side, you have what understanding about the cybersecurity thing. So how are you going to develop a unique, effective solutions of yours, solving the any issues comes under you? So how can you provide effective security strategies and software systems, networks, data centers, and hardware? What is the right approach you're going to adopt it once you're going to provide a security effectiveness strategies you're going to create? So any answers you would like to share to me, sir? This is the security, effective security, we're going to do it.
Yes, sir, this is Saptarshi. Sir, we can follow two approaches for effective security. One is top approach, top and down approach. In this, security policy and practices are defined, directed, and supported at the senior management level. So the senior management will allow, and then the middle management, and then it will come to the staff. Or we can follow the bottom up approach. In this, the IT department tries to implement the security. So the staff will implement the security, then it will go to middle management, and then it will go to senior management.
Yes, yes. But I would request you to all of you guys, please speak up your names and then you just provide your answers one by one. So uh, I would like to know some more guys that you are part of in the cybersecurity things we have studied some time ago as well. So I would like to know each and everybody answers that what they are going to thinking about the effective security strategies, how they're going to create. This is your responsibilities once you are in the cybersecurity security operation centers or network operation centers. So anybody will going to answer me for the same apart from you? Yes, I'm waiting for your answers, guys. If you don't know the answers, let me know, sir. We don't know. I will just going to tell you because it's a doing your performance on the particular subject.
Hello.
Yes, please.
Hello. Yes, this is Mayur. Hello.
Yes, Mayur, tell me.
Yes, yes. Actually, for effective security strategy, we can start up with some executive level planning. So we will, for example, if we are securing some softwares or any system, so first we plan the appropriate security controls which are need to be addressed and which are need to be followed, and they after planning the security controls, we can implement them or convey them to the middle management or bottom management to implement the proper security controls, and we will take take actions according to them. Like for system or software security, we need for system security what we need antiviruses or that system particular system is properly patched or it is it is running on proper update OS, and all the antiviruses and all the defensive mechanisms are working properly, or any access control breach is happening or not. So basically, this can be the strategy.
Okay, so the matter of fact that guys, if effective security strategies we're talking about, so first of all, we need you are a security professional, okay? You are a cybersecurity expert, you're a consultant or cybersecurity engineer. So you just always be talking about the technical aspect, okay? And the thing is important to understand here for what type of security strategies. It means that the responsibilities you need to be defined like top management, middle management, and lower management sort of things. It's not a part of your job because you're a cybersecurity expert, okay? The top management is the accountable or responsible for the security in the companies. So as a security professional of cybersecurity, you need to be understand what type of plans. Is the technical plan, operational plans, okay, and what type of strategies, like different type of strategies going to be created in the companies. Like it is short-term strategies, it's a long-term strategies, okay, different plan, like technical plan, operational plan, or management level plans. Different type of plans will be going to be created, okay. And then in this plan you need to be check out exactly what information you going to be procure, okay. So in this security plans strategies, suppose you are a technical person, so what is security controls plans, what is identity access management plan, what is the privilege access management plans you have, what is the threat modeling you have, what type of incident response plan you have, okay, what type of backup strategies you have, what type of restore strategy you have, what type of business impact analysis you have, what type of business BCP plan, business continuity plan, what is your disaster recovery plans, okay. So all those things you need to be take care in the strategies. Suppose you are going to create a data center in the company, so security operations saying SOC 1, SOC 2, SOC 3, different type of reports, okay. You can say that different type of strategies you want going to plan, like how can we going to do auditing of the particular data centers, what is the requirement of data centers, what is the use cases of data centers, okay. And do we have some short term plans, okay, we have some technical plans, we have some operational plans, we have some managerial plans we required, we need to adopt this particular technologies in the next 5 years, 10 years. So as a security professionals, you need to be understand about the uh, different aspect of the security, like what type of technology in the modern time we need to adopt it, what type of what strategies we going to use for the VPN accesses, like side to side VPN or remote VPN. Do we need to create some IEEE identity or account authority accountability, okay. And do we need to go for the multi-factor authentications, okay, three-factor authentication, multi-layer authentications, so biometric systems like that, okay. And this is all sort of, because you need to think like a blue team and red team, okay. The blue team is basically is offensive approach, and the red team is going to doing some attacking phase. So what type of different attacking, like somebody will going to do some DDoS attack, somebody will going to do man in the middle attack, somebody will going to do some max spoofing, okay. Somebody will going to do some SQL injection sort of things. And in the offensive part, what type of access control list, what type of network access list you're going to implement, what type of firewalls you're going to implement, what is IPS, what is IDS sort of things, okay. And what type of three-factor authentication going to implement, okay. So we have we have some offensive and defensive, red team, blue team, gray team, okay. And we need to check out different type of plans of the company. We have different security controls we have. So the all aspect is very important. So the matter of fact that because security is a very wide approach, so in the matter of fact that is, you need to be understand what type of companies it is, what type of criteria of the security you need to be implement, what is the costing of the particular things we need to implement. So there are a number of things you need to be take care. So especially if we talk about some networks, if we talk about data centers, if we talk about some the hardwares, if we're talking about some networks, right. So in the networking, what is important, my dear friends, in the networks we have some gateway level security like firewall. So firewalls should be the next generation firewalls like Palo Alto. So you need to understand what is the difference between the next generation firewalls and the traditional firewalls, okay, the legacy firewalls we are talking about. So layer 7 firewall like Palo Alto, and layer 4 firewall like your FortiGate, sort of different devices in the network side, and IDS and IPS, application filtering, okay, content filtering, signature based filtering, okay. We have some side to side VPN connectivity, we have some you know what in the firewalls we have some monitoring, we have some alerts, okay. We have how can we capture the data, like different tools you need to be understand. So as a network point of view, you need to understand the vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, what are the different tools, techniques, the skills you are going to implement. As we're talking about some data centers part, in the data centers, first of all, need to understand the BCP plan, business continuity plan, or The second thing is you need to understand about the disaster recovery plan, okay, and you need to go for some threat modeling plan, asset threat modeling plans. You need to be understand what is the business impact analysis you're going to be understand, okay, and this is all things, the backup things where we're going to implement the restoring sort of things, what type of data centers we required. If you're talking about some data centers on the cloud, right now AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud is there. So where the data center implemented, what is security point of view into this, okay, how can you save your databases, what is the agreement sort of things, which companies are the best, what is the difference between the different clouds, okay, the private cloud and the public cloud sort of things. So the matter of fact that if you're talking about data centers requirement analysis, so if you're going to do the Cisco certified data center architect, so we have different architectures required. How much number of speed of your networks, okay, do you require some hybrid architecture of your data centers, do you require some modular approach of your data centers, what is a DMZ zone into the data centers, all those things. And if we talk about some hardware, so I am talking about already into this, you require some gateway level security, you require some endpoint security solutions, you require some DLP solutions, you require some Cisco Firepower, Cisco Umbrella, okay, and you require some SIM solution sort of things, okay. So different devices right now available in the market. So wireless device appliances available, the throughput we need to check it out, okay, and we have some switches available. So we PoE, power on Ethernet switches in the market right now. We have some different gateway level security firewalls available in the market, okay. So as a security professionals, the strategies talking about, so it's a widespread technologies, the strategies. So it's a matter of fact that what type of company it is, what type of what requirement it is in the company. So as a security professional, as a solution architect, you need to be check out what type of company it is and what type of security we need to implement. Suppose you need to implement security into the bank or in the insurance company, so we have some different type of securities. If you're talking about some different like manufacturing or like productions, if you're talking about some operations, if you're talking about some healthcare, so we have some different compliances, we have different regulations on the different companies. So as the compliances, as a different legal aspect, you need to provide some different strategies need to create for the company, okay. So there are a number of things you can say on those things, okay. Then we go into the second things, implement built-in security systems to software, hardware, and components. So how do you going to implement, okay, on the software side, the hardware side, and a component side on security systems? Any answers you would like to share? How are you going to implement? Suppose I'm talking about the multi-factor authentication.
Yes, sir, Saptarishi here.
Yes, please.
Sir, actually, yes, sir. Actually, there are for security systems, sir, we can implement three types of security implements. The first is something which is like electronic or combination locks, and then something you have which is like key card system, like RFID or cards encoded with access code, or we can use like something UR, which are like biometric systems, which is like enrolled in every system. Apart from this, sir, we can use IPS, IDS, and network intrusion prevention system and intrusion detection system, which can which can notify the administrator if there is an unauthorized access, and it will send an alert to emails.
Okay, and if I'm talking about some DLP solution and data leakage prevention, then what to do? If I'm talking about somebody is firewall implementation, somebody I'm talking about the mobile device management, somebody I'm talking about some email management solution. So what are different vendors? What are different companies? What sort of things you going to implement? Suppose in this right now there are different cyber crimes will be happen. So what type of security implementations you going to implement in the company? A software side, but a hardware side, as a component side, how are you going to say that your company is effect is 100% secure? In the security, we cannot say that the company is 100% secure, but what type of security parameters are you going to implement? So first of all, if you're talking about the implementations, you need to say that, sir, we can go for the defense in depth, okay, the step by step of the OSI layers. In the OSI layer, physical layers, we have some different type of security implementations. Okay, in the data link layer, we have some different security parameters we're going to implement. If we're talking about network layer, we have different implementations. So layer 2 security, layer 3 security, and layer 7 security. Application level securities is there, different things. Okay, so it's a matter of fact that the defense and depth models you're going to implement. Okay, and every layer of the OSI layers we need to implement different sort of security parameters. So this is the multi-factor authentication is one of the examples. So if your company is first of all you need to understand that what accessing the risk assessment you need to provide it. Then the risk assessment, once you check the risk is there, what type of risk in the company. Okay, so you need to check it out the use cases of the company. Suppose you are working in the healthcare company. Okay, then in the healthcare company we have the patient data informations is very critical. Doctor information is very important, very critical informations. So we have some HIPAA compliance at the same time. So at the HIPAA compliance, so what type of security parameters you need to be adopted. Suppose I'm talking about some credit card company, or if you're talking about some Flipkart or advertising company, Amazon sort of things. So these companies are PCI DSS because they are going to take the users get credit card or debit card informations. So they need to save their data. So they are going to implement some PCI DSS compliance. So as a PCI DSS compliance, they need to adopt some of security parameters as per the PCI DSS compliance. So they require some up-to-date firewall. They require some patches updated all the time, release patches updated all the times of the devices. So there are multiple security implementations as per the requirement, my dear friends. So if the implementation and building security systems of software, hardware, or components, it depends on the what type of company it is, what is the requirement of the company, okay, and what type of regulations, what type of risk is there. So first of all, you need to check it out the type of the company, like production, manufacturing, healthcare, operations, what type of company it is. And as per this, the regulations like HIPAA compliance, PCI DSS compliance, or different compliance, COSO compliance, this sort of things. Okay, and then you need to check it out that what type of implementation we need of security we need to adopt it. Okay, so the email management solutions which you can adopt it. Okay, email management solutions, we have different things, like you're going to use some Office 365 account. In the Office 365 account, we have going to use some Azure Protection Plan 1 from the Microsoft. We're going to adopt it for the spamming emails. We are going to block it same time. And we have different companies available, vendors available for the email management solutions. As we're talking about some mobile device management, being your own device management sort of things. So what is the current situations? What is the current modern technologies are going to use it in the companies? You need to talking about all those things, like bring your own device. It's a culture in the company. Suppose the mobile email management solution, like a cloud computing concept. So how going to implement the cloud computing? If you're going to implement the cloud computing in the company, first of all, you need to do the benchmark. What is the right benchmark of the company? Benchmark means that the hardware performance, existing in performance of your company, of your hardware. And if you're going to implement all those technology into the AWS or Azure things, so what is the performance? What is the costing is all about? So the performance, the costing is matters. Okay, and also if you're talking about into the efforts of the engineers is also very important. So the capex, capital expenditure, and the operation expenditure comes to the picture. So the software part, the hardware part, or the component part, suppose software, the different licenses availability. So right now, if you're going to purchase a Office 365 account, you need to purchase some E1 account, E3 or E5 licenses. And you're just going to do some different Office 365, then you have to purchase a specific package. So it's matter of fact that what type of software you're going to implement, what type of hardware you're going to implement, and what's the different components you're going to use it. So some companies are going to use IDS IPS inbuilt firewall, okay, signature based sort of things. Every firewall comes the IDS IPS currently, but companies are going to use some Cisco firepower. That's because of they have separate device requirement for intrusion detection prevention systems. So the matter of the company is what the use cases is important. The third thing is research best ways to secure company-wide IT infrastructure. So what is the best ways to secure companies wide IT infrastructure? Any ideas? How do you going to research?
Yes, sir, Saptarishi here. Sir, the best ways to secure company-wide IT infrastructure, for that we need a tool, sir, for communication and security management. We need a framework for standardized administrative, technical, and physical controls, because the framework will allow a company to apply the procedure and technologies to achieve its goals. And the security must support the organization's mission. And we should also have common control frameworks and methodology like ISO 27000 series. We should follow this for best IT infrastructure. Like we have to give emphasis on the IT services and the IT service management, and we have to like document the best practices, management framework for various types of services and this one businesses.
Yes, perfect. So anybody else you would like to add something into this? Okay, so the research best ways to secure company-wide infrastructure. So if you're talking about the how can you secure your wide IT infrastructure? So first of all, as a security professionals, you need to understand what is our company assets, what is our company information. Once you understand what is going to be secure, then you would like to go for security things, right? So first of all, if I'm talking about the information security, okay, in information security, it means that your data security. With different type of informations, it means your data. So first of all, you need to categorize the data either in the CISP. If you just go for it in the asset security, the second number of module, you will just find out the different type of data types security. So the matter of fact that into this, suppose you have data. So first of all, you need to categorize the data, the types of data. It's a suppose I'm talking about here, it's a private data or your public accessible data, it's a government data, it's a your defensive data of the country. So it's very important to understand the what type of data it is. So suppose you're talking about the we have categorized the two things. It's government data, it's a private data. So in the government data, if you're talking about some defensive data of your political data or any sort of things, so it's very important data. It is going to impact the country. If your defensive deal is going to be, compromise, then it's going to hamper for the company or the country. So it's very important to understand the data informations. So as per this, talking about the defensive data, we need to provide the high security on the same. And if you're talking about some private data, the corporate data, we have some sensitive data, we have some public accessible data. Okay, so this matter of fact that you have to categorize the data in different category. I'm talking about here like private data or government data or the private data like corporate data, and very sensitive data, very public accessible data. So you need to categorize as per them, and then you need to provide a security on the same. Suppose if talking about the defensive data or the political data or your country affected data is going to compromise, is going to hamper the country's in what goodwill, so that you need to be security requires very high, like your nuclear defense deals sort of things data. And some if you're talking about some public accessible data, then we don't require this high security on the data. Okay, the first thing we understand, and then we need to provide some different security aspect on the data, like firewall accessibility, IDS, IPS, security controls. Okay, different things we want to implement. So if you're talking about some research, the best ways to secure company wide data, so you need to understand the 10 types of what security controls you want to implement, like directive controls. In the directive controls, if I'm talking about here, the policies, the standards, the guidelines, the baselines you need to be adopted. Okay, suppose you need to secure the data of the company, so first of all you need to create the ID policies, the transport policies, HR policies, finance policies, those sort of things I'm talking about here. Okay, you need to understand the standards, the guidelines. Okay, and then you need to follow some, different type of need to follow some types of, I can say that the security architectures, the designing, okay, like frameworks, you need to follow it. Then in the frameworks, I'm talking about what is the best practice of your IT. So you need to go for some ITL, you go for some, what, COBIT, you will have to go for some TOGAF, these sort of things. The use cases you need to go for some frameworks. As far as we're talking about some compliances part, so your company should be ISO 27000 or PCI DSS or HIPAA, whatever the applicable on the companies. Okay, so and then you will have to go for some VAPT, vulnerability assessment, penetration testing. So these are some examples that you can. It's the best ways to secure your company, that where you are right now, and what you're going to achieve it. So this is your, what you need to create some strategic plans. You need to create some technical plans. You need to understand some operation plans of the company, and you need the top management should, providing the security governance. Okay, different responsibility of different person. So this is, responsibility. This is security governance, security awareness, security controls. Okay, and you need to provide some, what different type of frameworks you need in the company. So this is the right way to going to secure your company. Then we have another topic is build firewalls to protect network infrastructure. So what is the use case of firewall? Do we need to use any firewall, any companies? First thing is this, and second thing, suppose what type of, suppose we have different type of domains like manufacturing, production, banking, or healthcare. So we need to provide the same type of firewall, or we need to provide some different type of firewall. What type of security policies we need to implement, what type of routing policies we're going to implement, what is the use case of firewalls in the network infrastructure? I would like to know that. Yes, anybody who is going to answer me?
Yes, sir, Saptarishi here.
Hello.
Yes, sir, uh, yes, sir, there are different kind of firewalls for different purposes. Like there is a static packet firewall, filter firewall, which is examining the header for IP addresses, ports, and protocols, and it has minimum security for low risk environments. And it is nowadays we are not using it. And there is another kind of firewall which is dynamic stateful firewall, which is keeping the track of the state or the dialog process of a communication, and it builds a state table to monitor each communication session, and it does packet filtering also like a standard firewall. And then sir, there is application layer firewall, which is like proxy firewall, which it acts as a middleman between the communication computers. It hides the source computer because it copies the packet and inserts it in its own address like NAT or PAT. And sir, finally, there is anonymous proxy firewall, which hides the real sender's info. Like in HTTPS interceptor, we will use it for decryption, view, and then again re-encryption. So in HTTPS, it will be encrypted. We will use it for decrypt and then again view it and then again re-encrypt. So different purposes, different firewalls we will use. Sir.
Okay, and somebody is going to ask you a question regarding that. What is the difference between next generation firewalls and your legacy firewalls? What's your answers?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Hello. Yes, this is Mayur. Actually, next generation firewalls is basic all the combination of unified threat management. Means it also has antivirus and all other stuff that the legacy firewalls doesn't have. It means first generation or second generation firewalls, they are only firewalls, so they don't provide antivirus functionalities. But nowadays, in next generation firewalls, we all have that facilities, and we can means it gives better protection than legacy firewalls.
Okay, anybody will going to answer me regarding that?
Yes, sir. In next gen firewall, sir, nowadays we will use like Sonic Wall or Symantec or Fortinet. Sir, in these we are having all the features like IPS, IDS, and in software developers will also use this because they will get warning for the vulnerabilities in the current firewalls. So while coding, they can get warnings. And sir, example is like Sonic Wall Symantec Fortinet for the next gen firewalls, which we are using nowadays.
Yes, I understand. This is, looks fine, but my dear friends, you are a cybersecurity professional, so it's better you need to provide me some technical differences. It's better for me to understand. Like this is the features is available into the legacy firewall, and this is the features available on the next generation firewall. So in the next generation firewall, like, suppose I am talking about the Palo Alto, any series, 3000 whatever series it would be. So if I'm talking about some sonic wall or FortiGate or checkpoint sort of things, so what is exactly the difference? The name of the particular features, name of the things, that this is the difference, sir. This is the things we are talking about here. So I'm talking about in the cyber security things, right? Guys, you need to go for the technical, the depth of the technical things. Suppose I'm talking about here into the next generation firewall like Palo Alto. Okay, so in the Palo Alto, it's you can say that, sir, it's this layer 7 firewall. Till layer 7, it is going to inspect the applications. The SSL traffic, your HTTPS traffic is going there, and we can going to decrypt the traffic. Yes, this is the capabilities there. We have some application IDs. We have some content IDs. We have some user IDs as there into this. So if you're talking about some Palo Alto firewall, we have packet architecture is different. We have, if you're talking about some Palo Alto, we have some different control plan. We have different management plan. So go for some more technical into this, the control plan and the management plan, how things gonna working. So I'm talking about here. Suppose is there any cyber crime will be happened, and this the cyber criminal is going to be accessibility of your Palo Alto firewall. So is this the secure firewall or it's not secure firewall? So if you legacy firewall, suppose any hacker is going to be cyber criminal going to be accessibility of your legacy firewall like Sonic Wall on or FortiGate sort of thing. So he will going to control all the firewall and anything. He is going to change the management user ID and password. You cannot be logged in into the same. But in the Palo Alto, you you are going to log in still. If the firewall is compromised, you are going to log into the firewall because the management plan is some different things. So in the interview questions, they will going to ask you whether you are working on the particular technology or not on the security firewalls, gateway level security like Palo Alto, Checkpoint, and Juniper sort of things. You can say, sorry, we are working on the same, and they will going to ask you second question. What is the what different packet architecture of the Palo Alto? What is packet architecture of the Checkpoint firewall? And then they will going to check it out. What is the difference between the previous firewalls and this firewalls? Why does it say that it's a next generation firewall? Give me some 3 or 4 answers, technical answers. Okay, so as a security professionals, you need to be very technical things. You need to understand into the depth, so that you are going to provide the answers. Okay, the fourth thing is QA, software and hardware for security, vulnerabilities and risk. So suppose you are working in a company where the quality analyst, quality analyst and quality testers, different softwares are working, software, hardware, security, vulnerabilities. So if in this we are talking about some OS web 2017. So you need to memorize all those 2017 OS web, what are different vulnerabilities and what are different risks. Suppose I'm talking about here SQL injection or cross-site scripting. So what are the different vulnerabilities and what type of penetration testing you will going to perform on the same? And you need to understand, and the quality analyst, what are different softwares like Selenium they are going to use it, or different quality testing tools they are going to use it. How to test the code of the particular program or of the applications. You need to understand the different type of quality testing, quality analysis things, softwares, how things gonna working. So SDLC models, waterfall models, different tools, techniques, skills, and how the database communication is going to working on the same, how the API is gonna working, The all things I already suggested tell you some time ago. So let me know what you think, what your answers on the same.
Hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, this is Mayur. Actually, quality assurance basically means that when the software or any system we are using, it is properly secure and it is tested for quality or not. For software quality assurance, we can go for testing like static testing or dynamic testing. In static testing, the source code of that software or any application is reviewed and find and check for the known any coding vulnerabilities are present or not. And for dynamic testing, the first the application or the software is being run, and while running that software, they test the behavior and anomalies and check the traffic which are going from software or which is coming from server to the software, and based on that they provide the results. For quality and assurance, we can do fuzzing. Fuzzing is the process of bombarding with the huge number of inputs, so to test the scalability or availability of that server or of that application. So it will assure you the proper working of that software. And for you mentioned that for XSS or SQL injection, we can try some tools, or we can manually test them by entering the queries and observing the results which are thrown from that queries or any scripts which are being run on that software or application during the testing.
Okay. So I would like to know the authentication mechanism into the applications like LDAP, like Kerberos. I would like to know that HTTPS, HTTP, how things working on the digital certificates, the digital signatures, what is hashing, algorithms gonna use it, and how do you, going to do the SQL injections, how the cross-site scripting gonna working. Any answers you would like to share to me? And
Okay.
tell me 2 or 3 software names where we can going to do sub quality testing, application testing, quality testing, all those things.
For application testing, we can use such as SQL map or any burp suite or Wireshark. Wireshark can be used for checking the traffic or and analyze the traffic which is being sent from application to the server, or from server which is receiving from the server. So for SQL map can be used for demonstrating the SQL injection on that particular website or application. And for cross-site scripting by manually entering the script, or from burp suite, we can test that cross-site scripting vulnerabilities.
Okay. So in this particular QA software, hardware and security vulnerabilities, and this, just try to go to the security testing and the slide, the PPT which I'm sharing to you earlier, so that you have to go for more information on the same. Okay, then we move to the further one. Monitor software for external intrusions, attacks, and hacks. So how can we going to monitor softwares for external intrusions? Different type of external threats. Intrusion will be coming, attacks will be there. So how do you going to monitor it?
Yes, sir, Saptarishi here. Sir, for monitoring the software, we have to follow some steps, sir. First step is that when we are contracting for the software, we should include the important process to the contractor to reduce the risk. Like if the developer goes out of a business, a trusted third party has to copy the secure code, and we should have other developers edit programs to allow to continue to use the application. And sir, other from that, we can use software assurance. It will tell us the level of confidence that acquired software is free from vulnerabilities, or it is designed for any vulnerabilities there or not, or by an accident is there any vulnerability installed in that or not. In a software assurance, we will know all about that software. And so before taking the software, we should do that software assurance.
Yes, yes, perfect. So the matter of fact that monitor software for external intrusion, attacks, and hacks. So first of all, we need to implement the SIM solution. Okay, security incident event management. So as a cybersecurity professional, your mind should be very analytical. How do you analyze the performance? How do you analyze the issue? Whether the issue from your side, your company issue, whether your web server issue, whether your company issue or not, whether it is relevant to your company or not. First of all, you need to understand. If I'm talking about the external threats or intrusions, okay, and suppose you need to understand the different public IP addresses of your companies. What is a web server's IP address? What is your gateway IP public IP addresses of your ISPs? So because once the traffic will be coming outside to inside, like egress or ingress, you need to understand. Okay, and then the traffic will be hit on your public IP addresses or your DMZ zone, okay, or your load balancer IP address. So how the use cases, once it is going to hit the IP address, and what is the use, what the things wanna working. So as a security professional, cybersecurity professionals, you need to implement SIM solution, security incident and event management. So what happened into the SIM solution? What different what the logs, okay, different infrastructure logs, the audit logs, everything is going to be captured over there. The audit trail, everything, the logs are there. So any external threats will be coming from your company from outside. Suppose any cyber criminal is going to hit the traffic from your public IP address of your external gateway, then it is your load balancer sending the information to your web servers, and the web servers is going to check it out what type of traffic it is, and then it is going to responding as per the request. So what type of layers, what type of security parameters, suppose you have implement SIM solution, SIM solutions you're going to implement is because of what type of threats from the outside you came to know that. How do you know it? The problem, the external threats, internal threats, the cyber attacks will be happen or not happen. So this is SIM solutions you're going to implement. In the SIM solutions, once the threats will be coming, the alerts will be generated same time. And once the cybersecurity expert will going to check it out, the different logs, the alerts, the monitoring things, and then he will going to analyze the issues, whether the issues, whether the criminal, cybersecurity criminal is going to be hacked our web servers or not. So it will going to check it out, the IP address, the packets. Then we're going to use some different tools like Wireshark tools, Nmap tools, okay, and then we check it out the different use cases, the authentication mechanism we're going to check it out. So this is analytical skills. How do you going to analyze your issue? How do you know that this is my company issue, it's not my company issue? It is first thing in the external intrusions. Okay, the second thing, suppose intruders will be coming to your gateway level security layer of your firewall. So the viruses, worms, anything will be coming. So IDS IPS will be implemented on the company in your firewall or not. Yes, it is implemented, whether it is licensed or what type of signatures will be talking about IDS IPS. Okay, so it's a pattern based signatures and it's a signature level things, sort of things. Okay, and then it is coming to your company, and then it's the antivirus endpoint security solutions implemented or not implemented. This is very important same time. And then once come to your web servers internal firewall will be enabled or not enabled. or disabled same time, what sort of thing it is all about. Same thing applied on the DDoS attacks. Same things is applied on the man in the middle attack will be happen. So the matter of fact that what if the external threats will be coming to your company, then what type of planning you have, what type of monitoring things you're going to do it. So we have, you can say that's a SIM solution we're going to implement like Splunk, QRadar. Okay, and there are multiple things. Manage engine is one of the open source things available. So IBM QRadar, you can go for it. You have Splunk, you will go for it, and different many more things. So you're just going to check the monitoring things, and then as a security professionals, what is your offensive security, what's your defensive security. So it's matter of fact that what type of attack it is. In the DDoS attack, what's your activities you're going to perform it. If the man in the middle attack will be happen, what's your activities will be going to be happen. Suppose somebody will going to snipping your networks, then what sort of things you want to implement. So the matter of fact that if the external threats will be coming, how are you going to monitor it, analyzing it, how are you going to check it out the things. So as a log, you have multiple logs available. So we have in the SIM solutions we need to false positive, which are the important logs you need to enable it. If those logs which you don't require, don't enable it. This is also very important. Negative, false positive things you need to be check it out. And then as a security professional, cybersecurity professionals, you need to analyze the logs in the depth. What type of log it is, what type of IP address, where is the source IP address. So you have different techniques you need to understand, like who is IP address, okay, is this am I pawn or not sort of things. So different things will be there. So you have step-by-step things you want to analyze, whether it's the problems, whether the issues will be happen or not. So all those things come to the picture. Okay, we have some another thing is close of security vulnerability in the case of an attack. So suppose in this, if you're talking about suppose any security vulnerability attack will be happen, what sort of things you're going to implement? What is the use cases? What are your thoughts? You're working on a security operation center, and security vulnerabilities or attacks will be happen. Then what you're going to do it?
Hello.
Yes, sir, Saptarishi here. Yes, sir.
Just
If there is a security attack, the first thing we should do, if we are already attacked and it's already corrupted, then the best practice is to update to the newer version of the project, like hardware or software with better security features, and to patch it. A complete patching we have to do, and other than that, we have to establish an information security assessment policy, like define the scope and requirements for executing assessments and accountability for verifying those requirements are met. And we have to monitor the test and evaluation process. And we have to evaluate the test plans and the procedures for operational testing. And also we must attempt to control the network access, and we have to prevent the network access at that time and detect if any critical incident has occurred or not. And we have to do advanced planning, and at the last we have to do regular audit and test controls for proper operations, regular auditing.
Hello.
okay. Anything else? Just
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is Mayur. Actually, first thing we should do is that isolate that particular host or any victim which is compromised. So this will reduce the impact of that attack and uh, area of that attack. So it will prevent that furthermore damage to the whole network or any other database or any sort of things. So first step is to isolate that host and study the logs of that host uh, and some applying some reverse engineering techniques for what happened, caused the intrusion, and what happened during attacks, and which commands or which security feature got disabled during that attack. So we can well prepare for such attacks, and we can first we can patch that vulnerability or particular flaw in the system or any application.
Okay, give me some step-by-step things. Which one is going to do what at what time?
First we will isolate that host or any victim which is under a compromised condition. After that, we will look for some events or logs and or processes which are being run on that particular host, and analyze the scene or what actually happened, or what causes the intrusion, and we will get some IP address or any sort of physical identification of that host. Then we can check more logs for intrusion in SIM or firewall at particular time. So we can analyze that traffic, and we can confirm that yes, this is the cause of attack. We should remediate this and patch this vulnerability. And after that, patching is to be done. And
Okay, nice. So as a security vulnerabilities in the find out of an attack, so do you think that we required some security policies, we required some incident response plan? Yes, cyber attack will be happen. We understand that, but in the future, if it not happen, what is the use case? What sort of things we need to be you going to do it? So guys, I would like to suggest you you need to study some security controls, different security controls, the 10 types of security controls. In the security controls, once you study, all things will be covered, all things. Like I'm talking about, you talking about, yes, we have to isolate the particular things. Yes, it's perfectly fine that you're going to isolate, but what happened is you know what, the web servers, and it is, you're going to this web servers, if you unplug this particular power, and it's a millions of trillions of dollars, you know what, loss of the company, then what to do?
actually, for those situations, a backup comes to the picture. So if we are running some particular company, so there must be a uh, any backup for servers or database. So during this attack situation, we can just switch on between the backup server or backup database for emergency, and till the analysis and remediation of that particular server, that backup server or backup location should be used for processing.
Yes, backup strategies is going to working, but the, my dear friend, because if suppose you are working in an Amazon company or Flipkart company, okay, and the transactions going on, online transactions going on. So once you're going to restoring your backup, it will take time. Yes, we can restore it, I understand, but at the same times it will take time, my dear friend. So
Sir,
I will
but
say this.
nowadays, sir, these attacks are not so easily possible because of this intrusion detection system, IPS, IDS, and then SIEM. So if any attack is there, before only we will get that attack. We will detect that attack, and then we can stop it before only, before happening only.
Have you ever worked on the cloud computing, clustering, load balancers? If you're not worked on the same, please work
Sir.
on. So in the, you know what happened in the cloud computing, my dear friends? In the cloud computing, we the same thing concept into the hardware. Okay, the traditional IT infrastructure. Like you understand in previously, we are understand the clustering. Okay, the clustering is removed right now. It is coming to the load balancers. So load balancers are basically, suppose you have 5 web servers, everything's gonna working, the data is going to be sync up same time, okay, and if any server goes down, then another server takes place same time. So there is nothing, problems comes. There is no nothing, anything problems comes in. If anything goes down, then another one is gonna working. So is the clustered, okay? The 5 servers are working on the same one IP address, only one big IP address like LTM. Okay, if F5 load balancers try to study little bit of F5 load balancer in this LTM, okay, local traffic manager LTM comes to the picture. In the LTM, like one big IP, okay, suppose in the Amazon we have one IP address, we are hitting at the back end, the number of servers are working at the same time in the one clusters. So suppose one server is compromised, any DDoS attack will be happen, then one server you can going to be down and another, all servers are working simultaneously working fine. Okay, so this is the things you just going to take care, because it will going to be asked by the any interviewer that suppose this is the circumstances will be happen, then what to do. Okay, and it's very also important to understand that what type of your company's ID policies, security policies, like your standards, your guidelines, okay, your baselines is very important to understand. Your directive controls I'm talking about here. So your directive controls, technical controls, okay, and your detective controls. So there are different type of security controls. Just try to understand, just try to go for it once, so that you can idea about it, different things. Okay, then we talking about some another question is identify cyber attacks, report to upper management, and cooperate with police or the legal forces to detain perpetrator. So what do you understand? How do you identify the cyber attacks? Suppose any cyber attacks will be happen. Like you know that in the previous day, we have some Twitter attacks on different VIP, very important person from the US attacks. Okay, and some time back the contingent is one of them affected same time. And some time back we have different companies. Okay, the cybercrime will be happen every day in the modern time. So any cybercrime will be happen in your company. Okay, so how do you going to identify first thing, and how do you going to reporting, how do you going to report the upper management, and how to cooperate with the police, and how do you going to working on the legal forces, like forensic investigation teams come to your company, and what written and parameters, what's your thoughts about it? So right now the question is coming from CHFI, computer hacking forensic investigations. So in these
Hello.
circumstances, what you do? Yes, go ahead please.
Hello. Yes, this is Madhu. Actually, first we identify the threats, whether it is intrusion or not, and if it is identified as an intrusion, we should communicate with our senior or first lead, because you cannot simply go to legal department and tell them directly that this thing has happened. So you should first communicate with the lead, and lead will communicate with the higher management, and you should always know that when to get involved, means when to allow means when to allow some person to talk to media, means anyone or no one can talk until the designated person or any responsible person comes, and he is only allowed to talk to media or police.
And you are the senior person, then what to do then?
If we are the senior person, then we should first identify the scene or what happened actually, and then we should contact with the legal department or any investigation department that these things has happened. So we need to investigate the particular scene, and after that, investigation team will further do the process for investigation, like identifying the attacks or attacks or source of attack, and which system or which asset of the company is being compromised, or whether it is data breach or something sensitive data got leaked, or any other threats. Sometimes attacker leaves some it's some files for future purpose, that like advanced persistent threat which continuously works in background uh, uh, and is continuously touch with the attacker server. So attackers get the knowledge of that company or that working or traffics. So plan according to that.
Yes, anybody else going to provide me answers?
Yes, sir, Saptarishi here. Sir, if there is any cyber attack, first we have to do the analysis, sir. Various kind of analysis like media analysis, which involves RAM, hard drive, CD, DVD. We must ensure that there is no changes to the original media. Then we have to do network analysis. In network analysis, we have components like routers, IDS, firewall logs, and we have to check that is everything still properly configured or is there any changes like exfiltration. And then we have to do software analysis, which involves all the softwares which we are working on. Is there any virus, or we have to check the emails, files, logs, timestamps, and we have to check is there any hashes of known OS files which have been allowed to be skipped. And after doing this, sir, if there is DDoS attack, then we have to drop all the packets which are originating from the internet at the firewall, and we have to drop any requests which are incoming. And then we have to determine what the attack is, from where the attack is coming. We have to do reverse engineering.
Okay, okay. So, guys, I would actually know that what is the process of this forensic investigations? Have you ever guys studied till now or not? I would actually know that this is the 5 steps or 6 steps sort of things of forensic investigations. Anybody will know it or not? So I'm going to provide you the answers on the same. So the matter of fact that guys, if they identify the cyber attacks, yes, identifications we're gonna do from the SIM solution, okay, security incident event management. Okay, it's a bypass the SIM solution, then we have some different strategies we're gonna do it. But the matter of fact that cyber security threat, cyber security threat intelligence. Okay, this is the things we're going to be adopted. So cybersecurity threat intelligence, I will going to provide this particular, and this is a separate topic I will going to provide you sometime later once we have a little time on the same. So in the threat intelligence, we have what if the things happen, then what sort of things, what sort of intelligence things we're going to adopt it. So identifications, the SIM solutions, how going to be a proactive sort of things on the tech side. We have to go for the cybersecurity threat intelligence. First thing. Second thing is the report to the upper management or not. It depends on the what type of thing it is. Suppose you are the CTO, Chief Technical Officer, or suppose you are the CISO, Chief Information Security Officer for the company. So it's it's the decision taking from your side. Yes, top management is involved same time, but if the top management not available on the same time, then what to do? So as a security professional, as a CISO or a CTO, you need to be decide what is the I have to plug this particular cable, or I need to wait for the top management for approval sort of things. Okay, so it's a decision making depend on what type of how solid, how impacted CTO or CISO you are. Okay, and the third thing is the cooperate with the police and cooperate with the police and the legal forces for written pretender. So the matter of fact that, guys, suppose is a cybercrime will be happen in your company. Okay, and suppose in the previous time we have seen that in the Facebook. Okay, the Mark Zuckerberg has to provide some statement in front of the media. So that was the issues, the security issues, security concerns. Okay, on the Facebook side, because the data privacy of the customers are leaked. So matter of fact that in the situations the chain of custody. Okay, this is the document which will be carrying from the suppose any evidence, like you said earlier that we have some hard disk, the data is there. Okay, RAM, the data is there. Okay, RAM and ROM, there are two types. Okay, hard disk. Okay, so they have a separate tools to capturing your data. Okay, the logs. Okay, and the timestamp. Okay, the hashing values they are going to calculate at the same time, or the forensic team. So the police and the other legal forces, once any cybercrime will be happen, so eh, the police and the legal forces, suppose you need to connect with your as a CTO, you need to connect with your legal advisor. What the legal advisor is going to tell you, suggest you what to do at the same time. So legal advice, like your legal advisor will suggest you that what sort of answers you need to be provided in the court. Okay, and but the court is always believe on the the court, the proof. Okay, the evidences should be appropriate. Appropriate means your evidence should always be not be modified. Okay, and it is also be admissible in the court. If your evidence is not admissible in the court and it is going to be modified by some other persons, okay, that is why we are going to create a chain of custody document. In the chain of custody, who's going to this particular evidence is the person name is mentioned over there, the custody. Okay, all things will be there, and the police and other things will be taken by your legal advisors. He will let you know what sort of things need to be talking in front of the court, and what sort of how to going to cooperate with the police, all sort of things. So in the computer hacking forensic investigations, I already provide one of the in my YouTube channel. You will just find it out. So you're just going to do it, go for it for once, and then you just find out that what sort of different 5 things. Okay, like admissible in the court sort of things, or different things. The process of CHFI will be mentioned over there of any proof or evidences. So work independently as a part of the team as needed. So as you're aware that you're working on the security operation centers and network operation centers, you should be very independently work on the same. Okay, understand then any logs will be coming any point of time, so you should be very aware about all those things. Okay, then we just move to some different things here. So bachelor's degree, yes, I think it's not is internship sort of things, strong IT skills, hardware. Okay, hardware. If I'm talking about you have strong skills on the hardware side. Okay, so you are going. There are 3 types of the companies. Okay, the small company, and medium-sized company, and the enterprise companies. So what sort of hardware comparison I'm talking about here? Which hardware is what cost-effective solutions you want to providing on the hardware basis? Cost is also matter same time. So as per you, suppose you have 200 number of users into the small companies, 500 or to 800 number of people into the medium-sized companies, and more than 2,000 employees in the enterprise companies. So what sort of hardware, what sort of software? I'm talking about hardware first. What sort of hardware you're going to be implement as security professionals? You need to provide a solution architect same time. Okay, and you need to procure some hardware for the company as security professionals. So what in the small companies, medium companies, and the enterprise companies, what sort of hardware you going to be implement? Yes, I'm waiting for your answers. Hardware, software, networks, and data centers. So any information you would like to share me, sir? This is the things I will going to implement. These are the things I would like to going to implement in the hardware side. Like I'm talking about the hardware. Like suppose you are going to choose, sir, we're going to implement the firewall. So what firewall you going to implement at what site? First thing, and second thing, once you have going for the UTM, Unified Threat Management of hardware. So what is the what costing, what sort of different give me some different variety of the vendors. You need to convince me that as I'm a the CEO of the company, and you are a cybersecurity person. You coming in front of me, as a solution architect, and you need to convince the top management that yes sir, this is the hardware is good for the company. So hardware would be like a networks devices, like your data devices, like your backup devices, whatever it is. So I'm waiting for your answers, guys. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, please.
Yes, this is Mayur.
Yes,
Hello.
please go ahead. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes. Yes. Actually, for small level companies, we can start with network traffic, physical assets like computers, laptops, or any other routers. So we need to understand the what what is the employee strength, or which is in need of laptops or desktops. So we need to add some, and what configurations of the laptop or desktop is sufficient for daily work. So basically, we are if our company is for production or any other company, so there is no need of high configurations and on a desktop or laptop. So this will, and after that we will look for some network configurations. So we can implement that network by our own, or we can just consult with a specialist which which has great knowledge of that networking things, like which topology to use, or which protocols, or which network devices we should use, or like routers, switches, and all other things. After that, we should consider the size of the server, or where should be located the server or data center for that small level company, and what kind of, means what amount of traffic it will handle. So based on that, we should design the network servers, and after that we also can use some hard drives, or any hard drives for storing the sensitive data. So it will be planned according to.
Okay. Okay. So I'm talking about hardware like firewall level, like switches, like wireless, like Cisco IDS IPS separate device, like mobile device management devices. So what you going to recommend it at what layer? Suppose I am working in a medium-sized company. My 500 to 800 number of users. So what firewall you going to implement? Recommend it to me, and different features of the firewalls. Okay, suppose you're going to let me know, sir. Go for the cloud computing, sir. So cloud computing, what I'm going to getting it. Suppose I'm talking about some security things like that. So how do you going to be convinced? Because you should be a good once cybersecurity professional. Suppose you are, or you are cybersecurity consultant. So sometimes you need to be represent your top management. Okay, as a security professional, security awareness training you want to providing it. So as a security awareness training you are going to providing it, and your top management asks you question that is it our hardware is well secured or not secure? How effective your firewall, efficient of your hardware, and how do you going to maintain the business continuity plan or disaster recovery plan of your hardware? So anything you would like to share to me, sir? The disaster recovery plan. This is the hardware we have. What we're going to do it? What's the things you're going to implement? In the business continuity plan, we're going to implement this sort of things. And in the firewall side, it's a layer 7 firewall device. It is going to we're going to decrypt all sort of packets. It's signature based sort of things. You will find it out. We have advanced IDS IPS things. We have signatures, all sort of things. We're going to capture the packet sort of things into the same. We have some alerts and configurations, all sort of things. So there are multiple the features of the hardware devices you need to be tell me, provide to me at the same time. like firewall, like I'm talking about the switches. So at the wireless switches, I'm talking about, so suppose you're going to implement some wireless okay, access points, and we need to procurement of the switches. So what type of switches I'm going to implement, what type of what access point I need to procure it, what type of controllers in the market right now, okay, what is the throughput, what is the speed of the ISP, Wi-Fi devices you're going to be tell me, okay, and which is the if I'm talking about some Cisco Meraki, if I'm talking about Aruba HP devices, if I'm talking about some access sonic point from Dell, if I'm talking about some watch guard devices of wireless devices, we have some what cloud controllers of access points available in the market right now. We have some hardware controllers also available in the market right now. What is the licensing sort of costing? What is the feature sort of things? Okay, and this is all sort of things you need to be convinced the person that suppose you're going to purchase a firewall, this is the features, this is the advanced things you're going to find it out, this is the security things you're going to find out. Those sort of things I'm looking for from your side, because how comfortable you are into the particular technology of the hardware, because right now the hardware is the changes every time. Okay, in the modern time hardware is going to be changed. Right now this model is coming, sometime after 2-3 months the different models will be coming in the picture. So you how proficient, how comfortable you understand the particular devices like a hardware, like firewalls, like DLP solutions, like your Cisco Firepower sort of things, Cisco Umbrella sort of things, suppose mobile device management, suppose Wi-Fi devices, your access point devices, your controllers. So right now most of the things are comes into the cloud computing format. All the hardware moving to the cloud computing. Okay, so what's your thoughts about it? Because right now the SD-WAN, okay, software defined networking comes to the picture. So all suppose you're going to procurement of the hardware and all the networking, SD-WAN going to deployment, all your networking things. Right now Python comes to the picture. The Python script we have to write it down, and your API is going to be communicating to each other's devices. So it's the best perfection set of sort of things. Suppose I'm talking about some hardware, so right now the Palo Alto or like your checkpoint devices, like Juniper devices available on the AWS or Azure console. So we have virtualized platform available all your hardwares currently. So what's your thoughts about it, that the technologies are moving rapidly, changes all the time? So what's your thoughts about it? Do you need to change this as per technology? If I'm talking about some wireless technology like wireless switches, okay, like the Ethernet power on Ethernet PoE switches. So we have some different power generated by the switches. So we don't require power on the access point side, because your Ethernet cable is going to provide the power. So 802.3 AF is the what standard for the wireless hardware. Okay, so we have different standards for going to use it. Suppose I'm talking about, if we are going for the 5G technology, and we are going with a a wireless technology, which is best and why. So, and what are different protocols comes to the picture into the same. So those sort of things I would like to understand from your side, that yeah, this is the right hardware for my right company. How do you convince? And the costing part is very matters. The cost effective solutions are required for my company. I have 500 number of users. What sort of hardware, like switches, your routers, your access point, what sort of recommendation from your side? I would like to know that, and give me some different vendors, different models names, so that I can understand. I will going to shortlist, and all things are about the security things. How the security maintaining all those things. Yes, any answers, please? You're welcome. Hello, are you able? Hello, Saptarishi, are you there?
Yes.
Saptarishi
Yes,
Mayur.
sir. For
Yes, please go ahead. So it's more about
sir,
the technical things. Yes, please go ahead.
yes, sir. As you said that cost matters. So, sir, in small companies, depending on the cost, we can buy like basic firewalls which provide basic basic features like IPsec, OpenVPN, user authentication, and sir, for small companies, switches should be like 24 port switches we can use, and basic servers we can use. And depending on the number of the users, we can use the number of the computers or the number of the laptops as per the requirement. And for the network, sir, we should use basic switches with like 24 ports switches, and servers should be also normal basic servers. And the this for Wi-Fi routers also wireless access points we should use as per the requirement of the users, because in the small companies the network is also small, so we don't need very fast or very high speed with large bandwidth. We don't need any wireless access points. So with low bandwidth also we can buy the this one wireless access points.
Okay. Yes, Mayur. Anybody else?
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir. I'm Ramurthy here.
Yes, please go ahead.
For small companies like members of 220, instead of going for a hardware firewall, we can go for a proxy servers also, sir. So, which is like a software server, software security firewall, which will be much more cheaper than the hardware firewall. And we can have some levels of authentication like staffs, faculties, and team one, team two sort of levels we can split in that proxy server itself. So we can go for the proxy server rather than hardware firewall. And apart from that, if they want wireless connectivity, we can go for a cheap wireless connectivities like D-Link. And switches also we can go for normal switches like D-Link rather than going for Cisco or Extreme or HP, and wireless access points like Aruba, Cisco series like Meraki or other things. We can go for the normal D-Link itself. And if the company size is about 100, 150, 200 like that in the sense means we can probably go for a hardware firewall. And in the hardware firewall itself, we have various companies like FortiGate, Sonic Wall, even Cisco is having their own firewall. So that these sort of firewalls we can go, sir. And if the company is huge and we want to monitor the entire switches, access points, everything from a single point means we can go for the cloud-based, for example, like Meraki series. Now the Cisco has provided Meraki series in which we have firewall, switches, and access points. So from a single point of dashboard, we can have the control over all. So for a huge company which has more than approximately 4,000, 5,000 users or 10,000 users, we can go for that Meraki sort of things, which will be easy to configure and easy to maintain.
Okay. Okay.
And servers, it depends on the part in which we are going. Requirement, it depends upon the requirement, sir. If a company does not need a particular application like image processing or anything, means server is not required. If they want a particular application like web server or anything, means we can provide that. Or else simply if they want only near internet connection, means servers are not even required. And apart from that, we have thin client also. So which are much more cheaper than entire system. So we can have an high-end PC and we can make it as a server, and from that we can have some thin client connected to that. So if the company strength is less, like in tens, like 20 or 30 users, we can go for the thin client also. And with the help of the thin client, we can also restrict the use that end user what are all the web pages they can access, what are all the contents that they can access. Those things can also be done in the thin client server itself. So it will also be a good choice for them, sir.
Okay, okay, perfect, perfect. Yes, so the matter of fact that, my dear, I'm talking about here, yes, hardware you understand. What about softwares? What about networks? What about data centers? What do you have recommended? Because in the hardware, we just talking about the use case of the company. Okay, first things, and second thing, the cost effective solution. What is the quality? What is, what it is a value for worth or not, value for money or not. Okay, so first of all you need go to company, and then you need to analyze the requirement of the company, what they are looking for it. So once you analyze the requirement of the company, and then you recommend the hardware, this is the hardware is right for you. Okay, at the same times you need to be understand that what type of costing of the company. Okay, and the costing the company, the analyze of the company, and then you need to be provide some what type of features you gonna be providing. Okay, the hardware have separate costing, and the license is the separate costing. Okay, and the GST or whatever the plans would be, so just talk to them that we have some different costing of different things. So maintenance costing some different thing, support costing some different things. Okay, licensing costing some different aspect. So as per the company requirement, analyze the things, provide the features, and then suggest them value for money hardware. Okay, the second concept is the software. So suppose you are going to providing knowledge base about the softwares. Suppose you're going to provide some ERP solutions, SAP solutions, okay, of the software to providing the company from the HR perspectives or finance perspective or customer relationship management CRM tools. So suppose I'm talking about here is like a CRM tool like Salesforce. Okay, and suppose I'm talking about here is Remedy, is a software ticketing software tool. Okay, if I'm talking about here is MS Office suite software, Adobe software. Okay, Adobe Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop sort of things. So they have all things comes to the licensing part, software licensing. So what's your expectation, what's your thoughts about it on the software side?
Sir, for software side, sir, it depends on the client which software they are working. And the company's role is to access to make the clients to work in their company in their premises so that the more and more employees can work and the company can get bigger and bigger. So, depend on the client. Client will only provide the software, and we have to have good bandwidth and good network so that there is no communication gap between the client and the employees.
I'm talking about here the licensing. Okay, the intellectual property, how are you going to secure? Anything else you would like to share to me, sir? This is the intellectual property. How going to suppose your copyrights, your trademarks, your patents, your trade secrets, your licensing. So those informations, how are you going to secure? How are you going to protect all the information? Suppose your copyrights is going to be leaked. Okay, some sort of age, that the years, 20 years sort of things. So how are you going to secure all those informations? First of all, understand all those things, and then you need to be secure it. Okay, then talking about the network side. So the networking perspective, yes, we are talking about some hardware like firewalls, like switches, like modems, like Cisco Firepower, Cisco Umbrella. Okay, different networks like access point, controllers. Okay, and we have more and more and more like that. Data centers. So could you please tell me that what is the tier 1 data centers, tier 2 and tier 3? Somebody will say that tier 4 data center we have. What do you understand by tier 1, tier 2, tier 3? Anything else you would like to share to me, sir? This is the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 it is.
Sir, Saptarishi here. Sir, tier one will be data centers are basically for small businesses, uh, and tier two will be tier two will be for medium businesses, and their annual income and annual downtime will be also high. And tier three will be for large company, and tier four will be for multi-million dollar business. And their annual it will be like 99.95% availability in tier four. And so multiple power and cooling uh, two independent utility paths will be there, fully redundant, and they can be able to sustain like full power outage.
Okay. Okay. Okay, perfect. Through work with ethic and attention to detail. Okay, attention to detail, no problem. Skill of the perception of QA, ability to identify vulnerabilities or issues. Yes, overswap use is going to study. Critical thinking skills, problem solving aptitude. Yes, you have. Forensic approach to the challenges. So, do you think, guys, you have a forensic investigations, forensic approach? Do you have? What is the best things you need to adopt in the forensic investigations? I'm talking about the timestamp. The which things we required, like evidence. In the evidence part, what you required in the evidence. You're working in a company, cybercrime will be happen, and you what type of evidence is you gonna be collect on the server side, on the
Hello,
networking side, any devices.
hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. This is Mayur. If any cybercrime has happened, we will collect the evidences, and based on the scenario or environment, we collect the regarding evidences. Like for network evidences, we can choose for some network security logs or security logs, such as logs of firewall, logs from SIM solution, and logs from all systems which are connected to the network, and events which were run during that period of crime. So basically, we need to confirm that the crime has happened between this time to this time. So for that particular time, we need to have logs for the all system which are related to that crime. And for system analysis, we need some hard drive details and data on that hard drives, and RAM, ROM, or CMOS batteries. So we need to analyze all that for potential evidence. And for database or system or server, we can use some server logs or that. And database, we can use evidence such as we look for any tampered data which is being tampered, or if the integrity hashes, if there is some unauthorized tampering of that data. So if data is tampered, so we need to count it as evidence. And
Okay, okay. Anything else you would like to add? Anybody? So the timestamp is very important, my dear friends. If first of all you just take a screenshot of the timestamp, because if you have modified, suppose you are going to take a, if the cybercrime will be happen and you supposed to go for this logs to taking the all sort of things, then the timestamp will be changed same time. There is no use of it then. So take a screenshot at the same time, whatever will be happen. So that is why once the cybercrime will be happen, system admin should not be touch the system. It's yes, this is what, because system admin will going to be what, checking the logs or anything, that timestamp will be changed same time, and there may be some issues will be happen then, because this evidence is not legal then, and the issue is if the things is not legal, then there is no use of it, my dear friend. So we will once if we things are working fine, then once we have time, then we will go for the CHFI forensic investigations. I will also let you know that what are the different things in the investigations part. So ability to think like a hacker and anticipate hacker moves. So I would like to know that what is the red team, what is the blue team, and what is a gray team. What are the use cases? What are the requirement? What are the those responsibilities? What you think you're going to be adopt and why?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. This is Mayur. Actually, red teaming and blue teaming is required for proper working or proper get an idea of where the security posture of that organization stands. If the security policies are properly implemented or not, or is there any vulnerabilities which can be exploited by the attacker and which will cause some huge damage to the organization. So basically, blue teaming means all the defensive techniques it will use. So blue teaming is responsible for implementation of security controls or remediating or preventing the attacks which are being happen on the organization. Just opposite of the blue team. So red team try attack and exploit the organization security flaws and vulnerabilities, and it will find the vulnerabilities and it will uh, try to gain access and exploit the vulnerabilities, and blue team will defend them. So basically, red teaming means all the offensive work that it needs some uh, hacking skills or something like that, and defensive means we should have some preventive uh, security controls knowledge and all.
Yes, some time ago I have sent you the blue team, red team, and gray team. You know what, different use cases and what they are exactly doing it. So your concept is, yes, is absolutely fine. That offensive and defensive sort of things they are going to perform it. And do you know that the black box testing, white box testing, and the, yes, any thoughts about black box testing and gray box testing and sort of things?
Yes, actually, black box testing means the knowledge of the internal network is not known and it is carried out externally from the organization. So you are uh, unknown of the actual network or any system or any topology or how actually network is being implemented or any security features which are implemented. So it will give proper idea of the where the company security posture stands. And gray box testing means you have some knowledge of that network, means some username or password of that employee or any networking data of the organization being tested. And white box testing, which is generally carried on the inside that organization. So you have all the admin level accesses, and you have all the passwords, and you know that these network security controls are being implemented. So you have that idea of actually what steps to be followed, and just you try to exploit them.
Yes, you're right. So as a, I will just going to provide you the assignments for today. You need to be, you know what, we have three phases of the cybersecurity interview sessions. We have first we have done it. Second we have today we have done it. We have another cybersecurity interview question sessions answers. Okay, I already sent you the schedule, and in this today we are just going to provide a, you know what, assignments, all those things which we have studied. Just try to create the assignments, all those things. Your assignments, like your, we can say that offensive and defensive security. So if I'm talking about here and go here it is. So just take a look here, my dear friends. This is defensive, this is offensive. In the offensive, OSCP is there. Okay, license penetration testing, you are going to do it. So in the offensive things, you're going to know what offense the networks, and defensive networks, you're just going to do some CSFA, you can CHFI, you're going to perform it. All those things is there. So attacking and defensive things, you need to check it out. So as a blue team, as a red team, as a gray team, what you're going to perform it, and types of different type of threats. Suppose I'm talking about the cloud computing. Suppose I'm talking about some network security. I'm talking about some wireless security. So what are different threats into the all those things, and what are the different offensive and what are the defensive techniques you're going to adopt it. Once you understand all those, you know what, offensive and defensive techniques, like man-the-middle attack sort of things, attack will be happen, like DDoS attack will be happen. Okay, so DDoS attack will be doing by that team. Okay, and the blue team, the blue things is there. The defensive team is you know what, going to be block. How can they are going to be procure, how they provide the security on the defensive side. So as a team, offensive and the defensive, both approach you going to be adopted, and let me know you know what, all those security parameters you need to be covered on the same. So that team use cases, and the blue team use cases, and the gray team use cases, I'm going to ask you the questions, anything. So any questions for today? We are just going to cover all the things which is required for cybersecurity, and I'm just, anything else you would like to share to me? Any questions regarding that?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Yes,
This
please.
is Mayur. Actually, you told, yes, you told that you will share some sources for the SIM, so SIM solution. So,
SIM solution what?
you told that you will share some study material or any videos on SIM solution. Actually, we don't have that practical knowledge, or so you told that I will share some SIM solution videos or.
Okay, I will send it, no problem, dear. I will send you some software as well, and the use cases and the videos, and the presentation as well. And it is also there. It's just going to, I was going to share in my you know, Google Drive. In the Google Drive, you will seen that we have PPTs available at the same time. Okay, and I will going to share you some software as well, use cases, the you know what, the trials of, you know what, SIM solution, so that you just get your experience same time. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, guys, thank you for your time, and we will meet. Okay, I think once we have schedule available, and just going to, you know what, study all those things, my dear friends. So it's better because you're understanding all those topics. And my request to all of the guys, please speak like Satarishi and Mayur speaking, but other guys are, you know what, they are not going to speak too much things. So the performance I am not going to, you know what, providing to the management same things. So whatever you know, right things, wrong things, whatever you have understanding, please speak up so that I can going to be provide the answers. I will assess that your performance is good, your understanding or not understanding, what where you're lacking it, any doubts or session things, whatever. Because once you're going for the interviews, they will going to ask you the same questions which I'm going to ask you right now. And your confidence, your combination skills, and your technical skills, it will going to be, what they will going to check it out. So my request to all of you guys, please study technical aspect more and more, because you giving me the answers, it's right one, but the matter of fact that I required more technical aspect on your answers. More technical, it means that give me some examples, give me some things what you have worked in now. Like you're just going to implement some, the man-in-the-middle attacks, layer 3 attacks, and the port security sort of things, TACAs, okay, different what security parameters you're going to be used in your once you're giving the answers. So that yes, I'm going to ask you questions, you just give me answers, give me some examples, and give me some use cases, so that I can say that yes, you know the technologies very well, you are a technical person. Because in the cybersecurity they require some technical aspect, more and more technical things, right? So that is why I'm going to ask you that go for some red team and blue team and gray team, white box testing, gray box testing, white hat hackers, red hat hackers, red hat hackers sort of things, and reconnaissance, okay, the VAPT, vulnerability assessment things, and penetration testing things. So there are multiple things you're going to be asked question to yourself, that where you are stand right now, and let me know any questions, then I will going to help you out in same. So thank you for your patience and providing the answers, and we will going to study at the same times. So thank you for joining, guys.